Welcome to Business Engineering, and thank you for joining us. People often ask a complex question: does higher education pay off? Let's find out and simplify the answer. Business engineering tackles complex management, technology, and business topics. We are unique in that we provide analysis and meaning by leveraging executive experience, evidence-based research, and doctoral level academics to give you working knowledge to improve your business. To tackle this question, we're going to start by framing the business problem. We'll then identify our key points that we're going to explore, which will be our research questions, identify some definitions to make sure we're consistent in understanding. Then we're going to move to analysis, findings, conclusions, and wrap it up at the end with a summary. Let's start by understanding the business problem. High school students are faced with the decision of investing time and money in a college education, or should they go immediately into the workforce? College students are wondering if they should continue and invest in a graduate degree. Adult workers are considering a return to college for faster career advancement. To answer these questions, they need to know what tangible benefits and even intangible benefits that higher education truly delivers. Let's now look at the key points we will be exploring. Generally, or on average, what is the lifetime return on investment of college degrees? What is the annualized rate of return of college degrees? Does graduate school pay off? And what are the non-financial advantages? Let's define some terms to be used in this series. Professional development, or PD, can be defined as a combination of formal education, specialized training, and advanced professional learning intended to improve professional knowledge, competence, skill, and effectiveness. It is often guided and funded by the employee and sometimes reimbursed by the employer. Workforce development, or WD, is typically a purposeful training and/or PD, which is structured and funded by the employer, often with a specific tactical focus. Education can be described as a structured environment for developing a broad, theoretical-based understanding of a topic or a discipline. Training can be described as a structured process for developing task-specific skills, often for response in situations. This chart contrasts training with education. It begins with generalized definitions of training and education and compares the two terms across the areas of focus, perspective, time investment, and overall objective. Expanding upon the prior definitions, training generally has practical application with a specific task or set of responses for a situation. It is more focused than general education and expected to have a short-term benefit in the present job. Its expected impact is to improve current job performance and productivity. By contrast, education generally has a broader focus with more theoretical orientation to teach concepts that develop a basis of reasoning and judgment for deeper understanding. It is a longer-term time and expense investment, often preparing a person for a future job or a different career. One is not superior or inferior to the other. Both have their place. Training is most valuable where there is not time to perform deep thinking and an immediate response is needed. Education is most valuable when depth of understanding is paramount. Please note the focus of this presentation is the benefits of education. Let's consider some examples. If a person completes CPR training, they are equipped enough to quickly save someone else's life. They can perform this duty without having to spend time thinking about it deeply as they were trained to respond. That person also became proficient in the CPR skill without having to invest the extensive time and expense to become a nurse or a medical doctor. However, even if the person is certified in CPR, they do not necessarily have the depth of understanding to serve as an expert heart surgeon. They would need a much deeper basis of education and knowledge to be proficient in that role. Both training and education have their respective places in the process of professional development. Pilots are both educated and trained. The education serves to provide an overall understanding of physics, aerodynamics, flying, and the aircraft, while training offers specific procedural steps for operational and immediate emergency maneuvers. Let's now look at the analysis of our research. Three tangible benefit areas we will explore are salary, unemployment rates, and return on investment. This chart illustrates the median weekly earnings of the U.S. population in the calendar year 2020 corresponding to their education levels. It can be seen that the median weekly earnings, meaning half of the workers are below that number and the other half of the workers are above that number, for a high school graduate is $39,568. In the chart, the midpoint earnings of the high school diploma serves as our reference basis. The midpoint earnings for a person who achieves an associate degree is 22% higher. The midpoint earnings for a person who earns a bachelor's degree is 80% higher than a high school grad. The midpoint earnings for a person who completes a master's degree is 126% higher than a high school grad. And the midpoint earnings for a person who secures a doctoral degree is 197% greater, or almost 3 times the earning rate of a high school grad median earnings. Another tangible benefit of higher education is that of lower unemployment rate. It begins at 12% for individuals with less than a high school diploma and drops to 2% for individuals holding graduate degrees. This chart illustrates the decline of unemployment with the attainment of higher education. This is generally due to the greater availability of jobs requiring higher order education or specialty skills. A highly skilled person can take a job which is a good fit or even a lesser job, but it is unlikely that a lesser skilled or underqualified person will be hired for a higher order job. Beyond the increase in earnings and the reduction in unemployment rate, the most telling assessment to evaluate an investment in higher education is the return on that investment, abbreviated ROI, and the annualized rate of return, abbreviated ROR. This chart shows that the ROIs range from at least 669% to 887%, and likely more, as these estimates are very conservative. The annualized RORs for that ROI over the years worked is a return of at least 4.34 to 5.51% annually. And again, these numbers are conservative and not adjusted for inflation, so the real estimates are much higher. These ROI and ROR analyses factor in the elements of the cost of education, which is tuition, books, fees, housing, and/or travel, as well as lower income during the student years. It then analyzes the expenditures as investments as compared to the greater lifetime income to calculate ROI and ROR. While these analyses are accurate with respect to published data, and to be conservative, they assume averages of investment in public education institutions and below median career earnings. The true value for an individual must consider such thing as how early in life the student completes a degree versus the year's work, the expense of the chosen college, chosen degree, and associated costs, and the chosen field, their role, their advancement cadence, and the resultant career earnings. Similarly, in the chart at the bottom, going back to school for the next degree or higher degrees pay off in a similar fashion, with ROI of at least 650% and ROR of a conservative 4.5% to 5.64% or better. While these numbers are very conservative, it is also worthwhile to illustrate an extreme example. This may be a person who earns an associate degree in technology in 2 years, studying full-time, immediately out of high school, with a $51,000 total investment, and evolves to become a tech entrepreneur or CEO, earning $30 million across their 45-year career. In this extreme, but real, example, that individual would achieve over a $54,000 ROI and an annualized ROR of nearly 15%. The other extreme is somewhat obvious and doesn't need much math to compute. A person who invests in any form of higher education, secures 1 or more degrees, but then never earns more than minimum wage for their entire career or does not put their degree to use. In that case, the ROI and ROR is effectively zero. But to not be judgmental, perhaps that person is quite happy to use their skills in an overseas humanitarian mission, role, or the like. There are many intangible benefits of completing higher education. Some of the top benefits are advancement rate. Employees with higher education are often promoted faster, especially in structured organizations, such as the military or academia, in government roles, and in large corporations. Lifespan. College grads live nearly a decade longer. Quality of work. More interesting jobs become available with higher levels of education. Quality of life, college grads may enjoy a broader range of interests. And health and welfare. Generally, the benefits and security attributes are higher in jobs requiring college degrees. Let's integrate our findings and draw some conclusions. This presentation has explored several research questions. The first two are, what is the lifetime return on investment of college degrees? And what is the annualized rate of return of college degrees? To no surprise, the answers vary widely based upon how early in life the student completes a degree versus their years worked, the expense of the chosen college, chosen degree, and associated costs, and the chosen field, role, advancement cadence, and career earnings. However, we find that a conservative ROI is 669% to 877% or more, and the annualized ROR is 4.34% to 5.51% or more, which is generally a solid investment. The third research question is, does graduate school pay off? Again, the answers vary widely based upon how early in life the student returns to graduate school versus their number of years worked, the expense of the chosen college, chosen degree, and associated costs, and the chosen field, role, promotion cadence, and career earnings. However, the conservative ROI on returning to grad school is 671% to 901% or more, and the annualized ROR is 4.54% to 5.64%. So the answer is yes. In almost all cases, returning to graduate school pays off. The fourth research question was, what are non-financial advantages of a college degree? The answer is there's a wide range of subjective answers, but the top advantages are shown in this list below. In closing, this presentation has identified that college degrees are generally a good personal investment. The research has evaluated the ROI and ROR of investing in various college degrees, demonstrating strong financial returns. The evidence also shows that returning to graduate school pays off in a similar manner. And the evidence shows that earning college degrees may have many important intangible benefits in your life. In summary, evidence shows a college degree and returning for advanced degrees are generally a good investment, yielding better career earnings, greater career options, and significant quality of life benefits. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. We'll hopefully see you on the next episode.